Hello everyone, thank you for coming back to my channel. This one is going to be PO number 11, and it's next to the last one. The last one will be the conclusion, but I'm going to be setting up on this one all of a summary of what the public opinion is going to have to be before we get a political outcome. And what I said before is that public opinion affects the political outcome. But if people do not have the proper opinions, then the outcome that they want to achieve will actually never happen. Because what the political people take care of are things that are on the mind of the people at the time. They don't seem to do what is necessary to move forward without having the political opinion push them in the direction that they don't particularly want to go, but they go because they want to stay in well standing with the people that they are using to be elected to the offices that they're serving under. And until, as I had said many times before, we get rid of all career politicians or professional politicians, whatever kind of name you want to refer to them as, this is one of the major things that is interfering with our democracy. Because a democracy, as I've said many times before, is a country that is for the people, of the people, and by the people. It doesn't have anything to do with a dictator type of political system. And the dictator type of public systems is the thing that is a deterrent to the well-being of all of the people in that society. And we have a real typical example of this in Iran now, because in Iran there is a lot of regime change in the country. The people that are ruling the country would rather destroy the world than to lose their position of power in the country of Iran. And they have murdered many of their citizens. They don't deserve to be there. They never deserved to come on board, but they did hoodwink the people when the Shah was ruling. The Shah was ruling a country as much as a totalitarian type of system could do for the benefit of the people. He was trying to bring the people from the Stone Age into a civilized society that was very productive and was the benefit of all of the citizens. Messages that were put out by the people that wanted to overthrow him were not accurate, but the people did believe it. They thought the Shah was in it all for himself and that he wasn't doing anything for their benefit. So by an overwhelming majority of the people, they wanted the Shah gone, and they wanted to bring in this dictatorial regime to rule them, to give them the kind of freedom that the regime promised. Now, their dictatorial regimes always promise a better system, and all they do is take over the system for their own benefit. They have none of the people's interest in mind. They don't mind murdering a few or a lot of their citizens just to maintain the power that they finally are able to get. And unfortunately, this happens many times. It happened in Russia. It's happened in a lot of countries around the world. China is left over from the Soviet Union days, and they still have their totalitarian system affecting fairly efficiently in the land of China. Now, China is not progressing very well because no dictatorial system can even come close to competing with people that are totally free and independent. And it's the free and independent state of America that I am very seriously concerned about, because I see it eroding far faster than I ever thought it could in one generation. I thought as I was only 18 in 1955 in high school that during my entire lifetime we would be guaranteed that we wanted to be a staunch democracy. But there are already many cracks in the system. I've experienced them, and in PO number 12, I'm going to summarize what I've experienced along the way, thinking that we had at that time the kind of system that I wanted to have, which was a free, independent system, a system for the people, by the people, and for the benefit of all citizens equally. But that wasn't what was going on at the time. I believed the propaganda that was being fed to me and thought that's what was happening. But whether I thought it or not, that is the kind of system that my experiences taught me is the only system in the world that clearly functions and operates in that manner. And one of those examples is the existence during my lifetime of the land of Israel, or the Jewish people, returning and being recognized by the United Nations as having authority over the land that they owned a couple thousand years ago. And during that time period, President Truman was very staunch in his idea of recognizing Israel, and Israel proved to be the country that Truman thought they would. They were a democracy. They wanted to be a land that was for the freedom of the people, and they wanted that kind of system to be for their people. And they were able to accomplish it, and now they're one of the strongest nations in the world, although they are very small. We know all of the flack they're getting from the United Nations, because the United Nations tries to say anything they do is the wrong thing to do. And we have to be thankful for the land of Israel that they know what is right and wrong. And they're continuing to do what is right, even if other people call it wrong. And unfortunately, the United Nations is part of the people that are pushing us away from free, independent, and democratic nations. They are entrenched in their attitude that dictatorships work better, that some of them know more than their citizens, that they happen to be wiser and smarter, and therefore the citizens should listen to them. And that's exactly the kind of thing that leads to a dictatorship. Because when the country goes down that road, a dictator always steps in and takes over. The people never have a chance for the country they're being promised. All they do is go along with the dictator that tells them what to do until the dictator has absolute power over them, and then the dictator now controls the land. And of course, the basic one that we have mainly now that's causing a good deal of the problem is still Russia. But Russia, according to all of the different people looking at the history of nations, think they're on their very last leg, and Russia would not last long. And all we have to do is get rid of Putin, and the problem will be gone anyway. Putin has taken over as a dictator. He claims the people are still voting for him. I don't know. It's hard to understand whether the people are that stupid or not, but it's possible they are. But I think that if the truth were known, the people did not vote for Putin, as Putin says in the numbers, but he lied about it and may even have lost the election. But since he was ruling everything and in control of everything, only he had access to what was actually going on. And as we know, dictators lie about anything that they think they need to lie about in order to maintain their power. And Putin is no exception. He's a lying piece of garbage that the Russian people should have gotten rid of a long time ago. But he is left over from the Soviet Union, and his attitude is he knows better than all of the people in Russia put together. And he actually eliminates anyone that does not agree with him. But what we have to do is have the public opinion that dictators are bad. And if we have the attitude the dictators are bad, they'll never get the power that Putin was able to obtain as a leftover from the days of the Soviet Union, which also ran their existence until they no longer could survive as well. But at least Gorbachev was reasonable enough to know that their Soviet Union was on its last leg. It wasn't doing anything for the other nations, and he let them all be free and independent again. Unfortunately, Putin stepped up right away and tried to reclaim the Soviet Union, and it was able to do that successfully enough to have him ruling now when he should have been gone, when he had had 2 terms or 50% of his life, whichever came first. He no longer had the right to be there. But until the world understands this is an absolute, unequivocal requirement, in order to have a free society, you can't have a person that thinks he knows more than all of the people of his country. And they're a little bit arrogant. They won't admit that. They just secretly know they know the right way to make their nation great. And none of them really do. What makes the nation great is the participation of all of the citizens. And when you even neglect half of the citizens, like the Muslims do when they do not allow the women to have equality with the men in the country, they are not able to succeed. All they are is a third world power. They'll never be strong as they think they're going to be. And they look back to the history of the growth of the Muslims. And I have to say, I did not live that history, so I don't know exactly what drove it. But I know that early on, they were very productive. They come up with a lot of new systems. But in the long run, they went down the same road as every other dictatorship. They were nothing but a burden to the people. Their advantages that they had given the people at one time were more than taken away, and they continued a system that made the people 4 times worse than any system that would help them to become a better and a stronger country. The only way that can happen is if the country is free of dictatorships and has all the rights of every other human being in that nation. And we know Iran still doesn't have that. They're going down to the last wire. They would rather see the entire world destroyed than to give up their position of power. But until Trump is able to eliminate the political system of Iran and reinstitute a system that is at least as free as the Shah, and hopefully even more free, that all of the citizens become free and equal, and that no person controls the country more than a couple of terms, and no term should ever be more than 6 years. So that means the maximum is 12 years for any person to be in any office that the country has to offer. And I am more inclined to think that that is just a system to lead to the disadvantages of allowing dictators to take over. I think the 4-year system that the United States of America maintains is plenty long enough for any individual to act as a leader. If he can't do it in 2 terms, which is 8 years altogether, he can never accomplish it, no matter if he became the total dictator of the country. But what we have to do is make sure that the public opinion clearly understands what I've set forth in my videos. And we want to make sure that we have as many free and independent countries in the world that we can have. Because what we want is competition. Because when you have several countries that are free and equal, one is striving with the other to be the most beneficial for their citizens. And that's what keeps the country getting better, because of the competition. When you remove the competition, you're leading to destruction. And in my summary, I'm going to be talking about issues that I've had in my lifetime personally that eliminated the competition. It allowed people to take over and make rules against what the rules of the nation were, and have those rules to be fulfilled. And when that you're able to do that, that's the beginning of a dictatorship. And America has not turned around. They're still going down that trail. And it could be, by the time I go to see the Lord and no longer am here, that it has happened to the United States of America, that when Washington and Jefferson created our land, they created a land that was new, free, and equal for the citizens. And within 250 years, we've allowed that to go the wrong way in very, very many ways that should have been stepped in and stopped. And in my conclusion, I'll spell out what those stops have to be so that we can do what is right if we want to save the country. But in this one, we just want to make sure the people know that it's each and every citizen's absolute responsibility to step up, speak out, and create a political outcome as a result of the public opinion that we're all thinking. So the more people of the public that they have agreeing with them, and when it becomes a very strong minority or a majority, then the freedom that these individuals have and participating with their public opinion, they're going to get the political outcome that they desire and deserve. And able to accomplish that, we're going to have to make sure that we correct some of the problems that we currently have. And I have expressed those with the judiciary. The reason that we have 9 jurors and 4 of them can vote one way and 5 of them another way makes a system that cannot survive. Every single one of them, as I've said before, needs to be on board. If one of them, being the smartest, most intelligent people we have, knows that something is a problem, it should be fixed before it's told the public that this is the rule of the nation. And unfortunately, we have so many of those rules that there is no clear understanding of what the rules really are. And the judiciary is at liberty on many times. And in my final one, I will give the examples of where they have gone totally wrong and the wrong direction to accomplish justice in America. But what we need to do here is to make sure every citizen understands that the nation has to have people that want a nation that's free, independent, and truly is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And in order to do that, we have to continue promoting the public opinion in order to get the political outcome that gives us a free and equal society. But if we cannot get the nation to go along and the individuals to have the opinion that it is necessary for them to get involved and move forward and say there are too many things in this country that are going wrong at the present time and they need to be turned around. We need to start moving in the right direction, and then we have an opportunity to be able to push forward and accomplish the thing we need to accomplish. And the things we'll accomplish are the things that I will be giving you the example in the final PO number 12. And in PO number 12, I'll go over all of the necessary things that have to happen to keep the government to be the government we all want to have. And so each individual has to start looking at the videos that I've done talking about our country and the nation and the things that have to be done in order to make it go the right direction. We cannot have people spelling out the types of things that the judiciary have concluded in the years that I was growing up and going before the judges. Those issues needed to be decided differently, and they were not. And so we need to understand what makes the availability of the judges to make those decisions and make sure that that is not a part of the system. And I have said many times before that if we had computers back at the time the country was created, we would not have a third branch of government. The founding fathers would have said the third branch of government is put on the computer, because the computer will tell us exactly what the right answers are every single time. And now that we have AI, we even have a system that's in place that will can be used by people that want to achieve a system that negates what AI is supposed to do. And AI is supposed to tell you the truth every time. The system is designed to create a system that recognizes that this is not true. And if it's not true, it should not be used by anyone to say, this is the direction we want to go. Those are the things we want to stay away from. We want every individual to know the difference between right and wrong. And when it's wrong, it needs to be stopped immediately. We cannot go on and continue having systems that do not function the way that a free and just society functions. We want to have truth for everyone. We want to have the truth be the same for everyone, and everyone be able to know that if they come up against someone else, they are going to be able to guarantee in their mind that truth is going on their side if what they're saying is in fact true. And we want to make sure that the public opinion gets on board for all of these things, that they push the legislators to go along with what actually is true and eliminate the things that are false. And we want to be able to move forward and have a country that will go another 250 years to be the kind of nation that the forefathers wanted us to be. But we have to be diligent in our generation to do the things that are right. And the right things are, make sure nothing is sold as truth that is fiction, because that is a guaranteed disaster, and the system never can overcome that kind of thing if it's actually accepted by the government. The government has to be on board with what the citizens want, and they have to be on board for doing what's right. And what I need to do is be able to understand and communicate to the citizens of America that they need to be more vocal in what their concerns are and make issues be discussed so that people can hear the differences that people think are right or wrong, and so that they can get a clear understanding of what is right and what is wrong. And that way, when they have an opportunity to participate in protecting justice, they will vote for what is right. But in order to do that, we have to be diligent. We have to spread the word. We have to express to other people our nation can go the wrong way, and we do not want that. We want to be a nation that is free and equal. We want to be the nation the forefathers created and be able to spend the rest of our life having that kind of society. And in order to do that, we have to make sure that the public opinion is exactly what it should be, the one that tells the politicians what the political outcome has to also be in order to make what is right truly right and what is wrong truly wrong. And I may have gone my 20 minutes now, or 20 to 30 minutes. If I have, I'm going to have to terminate this, and this would be the end of Public Opinion number 11. And I hope to see you again on Public Opinion number 12. But for now, this is the end of Public Opinion number 11.